Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cherry the Geek TV. We are joined today by showrunners Mike Weiss and Heidi Cole McAdams, who are the showrunners of Death and Other Details. First two episodes launch on Hulu January 16th. Mike and Heidi, welcome to Cherry the Geek TV. Now, Death and Other Details starts with a murder on an ocean liner, right? And there are many potential suspects. The world's greatest detective also happens to be on board. And on the surface, this seems similar to like an Agatha Christie Death on the Nile, maybe, with a little Knives Out, Glass Onion thrown in. Is that a fair comparison? As showrunners, how would you describe the show to potential viewers? And what differentiates Death and Other Details from those other things that I mentioned?
Well, we always compare ourselves to the most successful writers and producers of all time, favorably, in fact. No, we would love to be considered in that similar in some ways to those shows. From the very beginning of the process, we decided that we wanted to make a very classical murder mystery, but update it for a 2024 audience. And I think that, yeah, Glass Onion, Knives Out, they did a beautiful job doing that. I think that our show actually, at least in season one, used more toward an Agatha Christie style in terms of not just the storytelling, but also the visuals, the lush 1930s, 40s inspired visuals that we're very proud to have, we think, pulled off.
Now, this, as I mentioned, this the world's greatest detective happens to be on board, and when you have the world's greatest detective, you got to cast him with one of the world's greatest actors, right? And I think Mandy Patinkin certainly fits, qualifies in that role. Talk about that character of Rufus Cotesworth and what Mandy Patinkin brings to that role.
Well, I mean, Mandy, Mike and I could not be bigger fans of Mandy. He, like you said, world's greatest actor, and he had never played a detective before, which was so much fun for us. The very first time we sat down with him, he was like, immediately tried out his Brighton accent and was like, I'm going to be working on this, but this is what I'm thinking. This is how Rufus is going to sound. I mean, he like from the beginning just latched on to this character and brought to Rufus, who is, has all of the makings. We designed him to feel like a Poirot or a Sherlock Holmes. We were certainly inspired by that. But Mandy brings this humanity to Rufus that makes you love him right away, and you bond with him in a way that I feel like, just really is magical.
Yeah, I mean, he's brilliant. He's perceptive. He's incredibly, gifted at closing murders. He also maybe is more flawed than some of the detectives in the genre and maybe cares a little bit too much. And Mandy is so good at doing all of that, with ease.
Now, Violett Beane plays Imogene Scott. She becomes the prime suspect early on, but her character is really the main character focus of the series. Talk about her, what qualities, talk about that character first, Imogene Scott, and then what qualities does Violett bring to that role?
Well, so Imogen, we created this character. She kind of, when you asked in the very beginning what makes our show different, I think Imogen is the thing that makes our show different. She is the next world's greatest detective. She is this woman that basically brings to the world. She's a little bit punk rock. She's a little bit unexpected. She's more brilliant than even Rufus, potentially. And when we wrote her, we were having a hard time kind of finding Imogen because we had this idea in our heads that, was like a black and white words. And then all of a sudden, I remember the day that both of us saw her read the role, audition for the role, and we called each other and we were like, that's it. That's Imogen. Violett's got it.
Violett just has this natural, like incredibly high energy, kind of electric charm to her. She also auditioned with basically the haircut. When you see the show, you'll know what I mean by the haircut. And it became a visual signifier as well. Sherlock Holmes had the deerstalker cap. Columbo had the long raincoat. These detectives have, key details that they carry with them. And for us, it became Violett's haircut, which she had given to herself while bored during COVID. And it worked out perfectly for us.
Well, we are sadly almost out of time. Before we go, I'm going to leave you with this final question. Who is the killer? No, I'm just kidding. That's if people want to find out. I thought maybe you'd spoil it, but if people want to find out the identity of the killer, they can tune in to Hulu. Death and Other Details. First 2 episodes launch January 16th, with new episodes dropping every Tuesday through March 5th. Mike and Heidi, thank you so much for chatting with us today on Cherry the Geek TV.
Thank you so much.
Can't believe we're gonna be trapped on this thing for 10 days. I'm so sorry I dragged you into this.
Pay attention. If you want to solve a crime, you must first learn to see through the illusion. Details matter.
Yesterday, one of our guests was murdered.
You gotta be kidding me! This watch is worth more than you make in a year!
Somebody has to do something. Doesn't always have to be you, though. But I'm so good at it.
We've increased security throughout the ship to keep everyone safe. And we're fortunate to have a world-renowned detective on board, Mr. Rufus Cotesworth.
Oh my God.
Should I introduce myself?
In 24 hours, Interpol lands on this ship, and you will be their only suspect.
I didn't kill him.
I want to help you, Miss Scott. Anyone on the ship could have killed the victim. But why? I will be questioning you individually. Tell me about your interactions with the victim.
I never met him.
The man was a buffoon.
Hey!
Where were you between midnight and 8 a.m.?
My grandmother won't be happy.
I did not say that.
Who told you that?
Preposterous. Do not make an enemy of us.
No alibi then.
Excuse me.
You're good at this.
You already knew everything that I have just figured out.
It's more fun when you unravel it yourself.
What do you need me to do? Do you need me to spy?
I need you to trust me.
There are forces at play that you cannot comprehend.
There are billions on the line.
It's a puzzle.
We have what we need to solve it. Now we make the pieces fit.
The joke's on you.
Pay attention. Details matter.
What have we learned?
A lot, just not, who done it.